Hi everyone, this is the Life and Law of Attraction coach Gagandeep Sidhu, and I welcome you all to the 5-day Unblock Abundance workshop. Hi everyone, welcome to day 3 of Unblock Abundance workshop. I hope day 1 and day 2 were quite enlightening and you looked at life from a different perspective, which had never been talked about before. And even I was surprised when I first of all noticed that what all I have been doing subconsciously and how it has changed my life in last couple of years or decades. So, that was the reality check. And today, the breaking news is that we all have been programmed to lose. That's right. We all have been programmed to lose. We have this brain, which is a supercomputer. It's a software which is designed to succeed. But unfortunately, we have been programmed to lose. And that's the difference between highly successful, happy, and content people that they use the subconscious mind, they upgrade themselves more quickly, they use the software, they upgrade the software here quite often so that they are living beyond what has been stopping them and what has not led to 95% people to achieve that milestone which those people can. So this is the breaking news. And great part is you can upgrade your software, you can upgrade your programming, and we're going to talk about today. So our human mind is contaminated with a lot of feelings, emotions, blind spot, denials, failures, rejections, and so many other things. And similarly, we have been innocently fed or programmed to believe in certain judgments, and it can be anything, basis your belief, basis the type of food you had since childhood, basis the upbringing you had, basis the society around you, basis the school you went to. It has all led to you becoming a person which you are today, and it has been effortlessly planted into your head that and we make a lot of judgment decisions basis all that we have been programmed for, and it's nobody's fault. But yes, we can do it better, because these are life skills which have not been taught anywhere, right? Isn't it that whenever you recognize somebody, wearing a turban, of course, I'm a Sikh, and if you see somebody wearing a burqa, you identify with that as a Muslim lady, or if you look at somebody, of dark color, you think, okay, they are from Africa or any part of India where it's at. So this is all have been programmed into us. And some of them are right, some of them are wrong, and some of them are situational, right? Based on the upbringing, you all have all these emotions, patterns which have been brought into you. And what we call them? We call them beliefs. This is our belief system. Our conscious mind, of course, takes a lot of decisions, but our subconscious mind also works through the belief system. The beliefs which have been implanted into your head since your childhood, they drive your life. That's right. And it is surprisingly that the beliefs which have come to you or beliefs which have come to me have been has some references or some anchors. That's the reason we are so strong about our beliefs, right? If you try and convince a vegetarian to have a non-veg food, or if you try and uh, make convince somebody to start drinking alcohol, they may or they may not, because they are coming with different belief system. And that's where nobody is wrong and nobody is right. It's about the belief system we follow, and that belief system shapes up our life, shapes up our future, that shapes up the kind of partner we have in our life, that shapes up what kind of job we want to do. It is all our belief system. Okay. And the great part about it is that it can be changed, but the downfall is that we also have something called limiting beliefs. That's right. Limiting beliefs is like a bug in your software which is not helping you achieve your potential. It's like you have an iPhone, but it has a old software which is not helping it to perform optimally. So what do? We remove those limiting beliefs. And what do we have to do about it? We'll talk about that. But what are limiting beliefs? We all have beliefs, but to identify those limiting beliefs is the critical part. And those limiting beliefs, holds us back from taking decisions. Some people have limiting beliefs that okay, if I share my target with somebody, my work is not done. And somebody says मेरा पहली बार में कोई काम होता ही नहीं है. And somebody says if I tell somebody my work is not done. And some limiting beliefs are like okay, बिल्ली रास्ता काट गई is another limiting belief because it is somebody's truth. It can be right for somebody, but it is somebody's truth. That's the reason we are taking it as an anchor that okay, somebody believed it is not right, and you keep a story as a reference. पहले 2 बार में मेरा इंटरव्यू नहीं हुआ, my relationships are screwed up, I have trust issues. These are all limiting beliefs. Okay, the problem with limiting beliefs is it stops you from reaching a level in your life where you can. I'll repeat that again. The limiting beliefs are the main deterrent which stop you from becoming what you can, your own unique personality, your own best version. And they are like, they're like chains in your, legs or hands, which is not letting you move ahead in life. So what you have to do, you have to break those chains. Okay. And to give you a reference, in my childhood I used to go to circus, and I'm sure many of us have loved doing that in our childhood. In fact, going to circus, it was quite exciting. You get to see a lot of people, you get to see great jokers performing, lot of magic tricks happening, lot of other things happening. What I noticed there was I saw a big elephant. There was a big elephant, okay, and he was being trained and he was performing some tricks. And what I could notice, there was another elephant in the corner, and that elephant was just tied to with a rope, with a pole. Okay, it was not a huge pole; it was just a pole, and his one leg was tied with a rope to that pole, right? And he was still standing there. Don't you think that the elephant is so huge? It is enormous. It has huge power. Don't you think that elephant can, anyhow break that rope or pull out that pole and run away and make that first step, isn't it? But that's surprising. How is that elephant just tied to a rope with a tiny pole and still standing there? So, I, being a curious person, always, I had a lot of questions. After the circus was over, I went on to his trainer with my dad. So I asked him, I said, Uncle, this elephant is so huge, and how can you tie him with one rope and he's still not moving? He's just still standing there. He has the power. So then he told me a story. He said, when this elephant was barely 1 year old, or was this tiny, what we did, we tied the rope on his one leg, and tied it to uh, a strong pillar. Okay, the elephant tried because the elephant was tiny. The elephant tried. It didn't work. He could not break himself through that rope, and it happened for a couple of days, weeks, months. And as the elephant could not free himself, he stopped resisting. He stopped putting effort to break over that rope, right? And as the elephant was getting bigger, he was not putting in any effort because he had a reference point that he tried to break it for so many times and he could not, and so he cannot do that right now. And the elephant, as he was growing, it was getting bigger, humongous, enormous, powerful. And then what they again did, they tied one leg of an elephant with a small plastic chair. And surprisingly, the elephant didn't make an effort. The huge elephant did not make an effort. Why? Because he was programmed since childhood, that he cannot break those shackles. Of course, he had a reference point because at that point of time he was not powerful and he could not break it. But today, when he is huge, he is humongous, he could easily break those shackles. But he's not putting in effort because he could not do that before. we can't do that now. Isn't it the case with all of us? I'm sure if you're nodding, if you relate to the story, we all hold ourselves back. If you failed a job interview, if your first business did not succeed, if your marriage did not work, if your relationship did not work, if you had business losses or you lost somebody, we keep that as a reference point. कि मेरे साथ तो ये हो गया था. We all have the power to break those shackles. Or you want to be an elephant, but of no use. You can't make an effort for yourself. So break those shackles. Okay, they are the limiting beliefs. Those shackles which elephant was holding, it is a limiting belief. You have the power to break those shackles and live your life freely. You can be powerful. You can be living your own life. You can be anywhere. But yet, we stop ourselves from becoming a best version because of those limiting beliefs. So, I hope this story helps because we have the power and you can break those shackles. And how we're going to do that, I'm going to tell you. So, the life doesn't follow your conscious desires, it follows your belief system. And the best way to change your life is to change your belief system. And it is simple but not easy. And today, that's the reason day 3 is the most important day of the 5-day abundance workshop, because today is where you're going to deep dive into what is stopping you from becoming your best version. What is stopping you from getting your dream job? What is stopping you to attract your soulmate? What is stopping you, for having a fulfilling money, wealth, abundance, or anything? There is a limiting belief that is stopping you. And you can change that limiting belief today. Right? So what we're going to do, of course, I'm going to send few activities. So limiting belief, first of all, the first act is to identify what are your limiting beliefs. And to give you some references, I had a limiting belief 10 years back that you have to work very hard to earn money. Right? I had another limiting belief that if I tell somebody, my work doesn't happen. Right? And another limiting belief that, okay, I had an isolated childhood and I used to believe that nobody loves me. And that was the case. I had bad relationships, series of them, just because I had a limiting belief that nobody loves me. And those limiting beliefs, as I said, come with some support system. It can be your past story, it can be a reference from somebody else, or it can be anything. All these limiting beliefs, first of all, you have to identify. That's the key. You have to put some effort. You have to, put some, pressure on your brain because you're trying to upgrade the software. So of course, you need to identify where the bug is. Right? It is like a rat in the house. It is going to destroy your clothes or your food items. So first of all, you find the rat. Okay, you may not kill it, but you at least let it out of your house. Right. So you have to first of all identifying the limiting beliefs. How are we going to do that? I'm going to send you an activity that first of all find something that I used to believe that, okay, I cannot succeed as a public speaker because I'm an introvert. That was my limiting belief. And believe me, if you're shocked that I'm talking to you for the last couple of days and I talk to thousands of people every day, I overcame my limiting belief. If I can do that, so can you. So I put that into a line that, okay, I cannot do this because of this. So find out your 10 limiting beliefs. Today after this session, I'm going to send you the workbook. I'm going to send you the activity list, and find out your 10 limiting beliefs, which have been stopping you, or even more than that. Minimum 10, you have to do that, because identification is the key. Just like you go to a doctor, the doctor identifies what's the problem. Here you have the power that you have to identify what is your limiting beliefs. Why can't you be a public speaker? Why can't you be a singer? Why can't you pursue your passion? Because nobody in your family has done that. I had that limiting belief. In my family, everybody is into business. Nobody is into public speaking. Nobody is an author. I challenged if, I cannot be a public speaker because nobody in my family is. So that's a story I was telling myself. If you change your story, you change your destiny. Okay? So first of all, we're going to identify the limiting beliefs. Okay? And we're going to challenge those limiting beliefs. How? That's also we're going to talk about. So the activity we're going to do. So first of all, identification is the key. And then challenging and then reframing those limiting beliefs to make it more effective for you. Okay, so this is what we're going to do today, and of course tomorrow and day after, I'm going to give you a solution that how those limiting beliefs can be eradicated. But the key is identification. Find out where the problem is, and I'm going to help you with that. There are detailed instructions which are going to follow, and you can use all of them for your best use. Okay, so as I was saying that, there is a supporting story which is there, which doesn't help us evolve and doesn't help us move ahead. To sum it up, as a visionary, when the Mars project was launched a couple of years back, the Tesla group of companies, Elon Musk, the great guy, he presented it, but not many people believed in it because they had limiting beliefs that how can we reach to Mars? There's so much, of effort, and it is unlikely, right? But as soon as the analysis, the research started going on, there was a lot of proofs coming in that okay, it can be habitant, there can be life there. So the story started changing. The people who were not believing it 10 years back that we can have life on Mars, they now have started believing because they have a new story, they have a new reference material. So similarly, once we have identified your limiting beliefs, we will, challenge those limiting beliefs and replace those stories with the new references, right? Because the references are like, the belief is your tabletop, and there are three or four legs to the table. Those are the references. If you find the right references, you change your story. And who is going to change your story? It's you who has the power to change your story. All right. So I hope this session helps. Okay. And today you're going to have to do some brainstorming activity to identify, because I wish I could do that for you, but I will help you change those limiting beliefs. If you feel any challenge, just DM me. I'll be happy to answer your questions. But the reality check has been there, and today we are gonna start the programming, because you and I are not here to lose. We are here to win the game of life. All right. Even if we are programmed to lose, we can change that programming and step up and live in abundance, wealth, happiness, and prosperity. All right. So I'll see you tomorrow. Let's get into group and do some activities and stay connected for your daily dose of positivity.